actually make this a thing where you can do it every day, even just for fun. You have to treat it like it's an actual business because it actually is.
I agree.
It's true.
I agree. I just realized we went live, but that's all right though. We are now.
I told these people to go over
Why we ain't getting no comments?
I guess we starting over.
Hey y'all, go ahead and go over to YouTube.
Because it's like, why are we not getting any comments?
Real raw.
Like,
Look,
hey.
this lady.
Nah, it's all good. We can just recap the conversation.
Start over. Come back.
Yo, this is DJ Tyler. No, this is just going over. If you haven't went over to YouTube yet, if you have tried to go over to
My
YouTube,
bad.
Go over there now so y'all can leave comments. We can shout y'all out for y'all comments and everything else.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm gonna make sure I put my list down. I said that last time.
And she always talk about this, but sometimes I forget to hit the record button on here.
Because he made sure.
Red one that's right there, you just stop button.
Yeah, it's green went before. But then,
Yep.
look,
I'm making sure he record, and then I didn't do my job.
Jesus,
Jesus,
what?
what? Because I was like, why are we not getting no comment? I'm so surprised.
That's so funny.
Anyway, we still in the damn studio with Ty Hunt of Nighthawk Studio.
We're having a good conversation too, man.
Yeah.
We got good stuff to go on.
Yeah, you know what? We still got some show to go.
I still have a question.
Okay.
Hold on, let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
When did you start, and was it hard for you to start Nighthawk Studio?
So I started Lighthawk officially in 2017. But I had been doing it for, I want to say like 2008, 2009-ish is when I actually started like doing stuff.
Okay.
And my goal was always to be a production company owner. That was always one of the reasons why I got into film, was just to have a company and do my own thing, right? As far as starting, absolutely, that was difficult. And it still is difficult, you know, because at the end of the day, in order to do these projects properly, you need money. And, you know, if you don't have access to the funds that you need, it's not like just a couple $100 you can save up for. You know, I'm talking like, you know, 5, 6, 7 figures worth of stuff. Yeah. And so
we know that very well because it seems like everything dealing with entertainment started at $600. If you're trying to buy some type of equipment,
yeah,
it starts at $600 and it goes up from there.
And that's just the equipment.
That's just the start.
And then you get the people. The people are more expensive because they have, you know, talent for one, then they have experience, then they have, you know, their time and their things that they care about, like family and, you know, things of like benefits, being able to take care of like insurance and all the being alive stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna go do this. You got to figure out how to actually do it as a business. Because at the end of the day, people need to be able to take care of themselves and be able to take care of their families. And once I realized that, like, because I remember I was in school and we were doing some kind of project. I forgot what it was, but the project doesn't matter. The experience does. Because I remember I was trying to cast for it and like nobody was available. And I was like, why does nobody care about my film? This is the greatest film ever. It wasn't, but you know, at that time.
Yeah, you think it is. You think it is. The same thing with me with music school, because like, we had to do projects, and you ask the people, you want to be a part of this project, you want to be a part of this, you keep getting all of those. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
Yeah. And like, you know, it took my buddy, he was on the producing track and I was on the directing track. And he was like, look, nobody cares about your project like you do, because to them it's just a job. You know, are they going to get paid for it? You know, how much time do they have to invest? How much time is it going to take them away from actually doing the job that they do get paid for? And so once I realized that, like, nobody cares as much as I will, you know, that's when I was like, oh, okay, then I got to really look at it, you know, from a different perspective. Because at first I was like, oh, this is the film industry, everybody just wants to be in it. And so it wasn't so much that I was trying to take advantage of people. I just, like I said, I just didn't know how to make it a sustainable thing. I just wanted to go film stuff. Right. You know? And so having that conversation with my buddy, really opened my eyes to be like, okay, if people are gonna devote their time and their expertise to this project, there has to be some kind of compensation for it besides just, oh, you get a a nice reel at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, the real's not gonna pay for food you take
Right.
or household you have, that kind of stuff. So being able to do that and really do it in a way that people want to work with you, I think that's one of the biggest challenges to running a successful business and being in this world. Because, like I said before, I'm very much a people person, so I want to take care of the people that are devoting their time and their stuff to me and in this project. I care about the project, and I'm sure I hope that they do as well. But even if they don't, I want them to give me 100% of what they got because they're going to get something that they want out of it as well.
Sure.
Right.
What has been your biggest challenge? Because every time, and I know the finances is one. Because every time he come to me and talk about we need this and that's, just like, oh God, Jesus. It's like I just see my credit card smoking. That damn thing on fire. Yes, it's smoke in the city.
Absolutely.
So besides the finance and trying to sustain, the business and yourself, what has been your biggest challenge as far as having a production company?
I think keep going. There have been plenty of times where
I agree.
Because of the finances and because of not being able to get the jobs and some of the things that I needed at a certain time, there were plenty of opportunities for me to be like, what, this isn't working. This is a waste of time. It's putting too much on Natalie with my wife, and she was taking care of a lot of the financial stuff when I was building the company, and I'm still building it, to be quite honest with you. But just the overcoming the depression of I'm not good enough to do this, because after you're going to hear no in this industry a lot, and it's just part of the game. Yeah. But when you hear it constantly over and over and over again, and you know that you can do it, but for whatever reason, people aren't hiring you, people aren't seeing what you can bring to the table and trusting you with the budgets that you need, or even they bring you on and you pay everybody else and you get no money.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, I still got to take care of me. And so I think those were some of the biggest challenges that I faced throughout this journey. Because, like I said, it could have been disastrous at times because I wasn't getting the jobs that I needed and getting the rates that I needed. And people were like, oh, you're just too expensive. I was like, nah, I know what I can do. And I know what my value is. And I got to get people to see that. Because there have been plenty of times where I've, dropped my rate in order to get the job and whatnot. And we've all done that because, money is money and better to get something sometimes. But in the same breath, it was like getting to the point where it's like, I can't keep doing this. I'm not growing. I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm not reaching the goals that I've set for myself, and I know that I can do more. And like I said, when people were continually saying no, like, okay, well, I got to pay for this car, I got to pay for this house, I got to support my wife at the same time because she's been supporting me, so maybe I should do this anymore. So, overcoming that kind of stuff and continuing to keep pushing forward, despite all of those reasons to say no, I think is the biggest thing.
I totally feel you. And I know one of our first conversations, it was knowing your value and or finding your value. And I know me and him, we I don't say we argue, but we just like trying to find that sweet spot because, things have to get paid, and especially your time and your talent. But then you have folks that don't want to pay. And then how do you get the experience out there if you can't get the jobs? And it's just
it's definitely a catch-22.
It's just crazy.
This whole industry is based on a catch-22.
Yeah. And
challenges figuring out how to break that.
So being that you're still in it, so what has been your biggest reward then?
I think
what keeps you going?
There's a lot of things that keep you going. Just the drive is, like haven't reached the level that I want to reach. And so that continues to push me every single day when I'm not doing it. It's like, oh, I got to go do this. And so that's why you see like these bags under my eyes, because I'm doing extra in order to get to that extra level that I want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I think also knowing what I can do and knowing what I set out to do, I have to keep going, because if I don't, then I'm cheating myself for one thing.
Yeah.
But also I'm not living up to the expectation that people that are supporting me, what they see, and I couldn't do without the support group that I have, and so I don't want to let them down either, because they've invested both time, money, and sacrificed a lot of things on their end in order for me to do the things I'm doing now, and for me to be like, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore, that would be a big slap in the face.
I kind of feel that, because it's like it gets kind of frustrating, but we don't put too much doggone money, and my credit card is too high to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just
100%. Like I remember, again, going back to my time in Orlando, I was talking to one of my gaffing buddies, and he has a big G&E company down in Florida, neighborhood housing, and doing all of the commercials basically down in Orlando. And so I talked to him, like, hey man, how did you get started with your company and this and that? And he told me, he was straight up, he was like, look man, I owed everybody money when I first got started. And it was stressful. Like I didn't know that I was actually going to ever be able to pay it back. And I was worried. And the only thing that kept me going was knowing that this is what I needed to do. The sacrifice and the stress and the lack of sleep, it's scary. But when you have a goal and you know that you can do it, nothing can stop you. And I think that's the most important thing to realize. If you think that something can stop you, you're done. But if you know in your heart, in like the depths of your being, that you are supposed to be doing that, then that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting your time here on this earth. You're going to be miserable. And I'm speaking from experience, because there's plenty of times when, going back to the time when I should just give up, and I started doing other stuff. I was absolutely miserable. And it wasn't because I was just like, oh, my dream is, and I'm not doing my dream. It's like, no, I'm not being true to me. I'm not using all the gifts that I have, all the gifts that God has given me to, go out and do what I need to do. I'm just basically suffocating and basically killing myself. That's what it felt like, because I wasn't being true to me. I wasn't being my whole self. And that's super important to me personally, because I feel like everybody should be their full authentic self, because that's the best of it.
Any regrets?
Any regrets? Absolutely. Plenty of
I didn't
right?
expect that.
No, I mean, like I said earlier, everything is an educational tool. And there are things that I wish that I could have done differently, but I feel like if I had done it differently, I wouldn't have learned anything I needed to learn.
That's true.
And so I'd go back and have to, go through something else in order to learn that lesson. And so, as frustrating as the journey has been, and as up and down and all over the place as it's been, I'm very thankful for it, because it's crafted me into the person that I am, and it's made me super hyper focused on making sure that never happens again.
Right. That's a situation that we went through that we kind of learned from.
Still going through.
That I actually just said. See, she learned more of the negative stuff. She learned more from, and she kind of, like she said, she turned that negative into a positive. It takes me a minute to do that, because I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
If you're doing me wrong, I'm pissed off before I can learn from it. Mm-hmm. But then I do learn from it to make sure that it don't happen again.
Right.
So.
I mean, because being pissed off, it has happened, and you're wasting energy and time.
You are, but it's like, why do I have to go through this to get to this step?
Life.
But you do have to go through some bad shit before you can get to good shit.
Absolutely. And I think, feeling what you feel, and I'm very much, this is going to sound funny for me, because I'm like the most like non-emotional person ever on this earth. But feeling your feelings and accepting them and acknowledging them is important, because if you ignore it, and again speaking from experience, it's going to eat you up, and it's going to get you to the point where you can't learn because you're so whatever about something that you're just hyper focused on the problem versus how do you overcome it and fix it.
Right.
The solution part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to sometimes because he's and it's like, okay, so but we got this. Let's do this. Let's do this, and let's keep it. Let's make sure we stay focused and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And,
A good example of that is one of the producers and production managers that I worked with that I kind of came up under. She had the mindset that there was never any bad news. It was just news.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was good or bad, it didn't matter. It's just I need information so I can make an assessment and adjust.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? And so I definitely took that to heart, because especially like when I first got started, I was like, oh my gosh, look, the sky is falling. And I'm just like, all right, the sky's falling.
Yeah. So what positive can you get out of the sky falling? Let's take a shot at that and put it in the next film. What's going on, Miss Stella Nova? What's going on? Hey, you can see everybody in the room
now
on YouTube at the Real Raw Rugged. Go ahead and go over there. You can see everybody in the room. We have this entertainment. We also have Ty Hunt from Lighthawk Studios, giving us a little information on how he got started, some of the ups and downs of what he's been through, and some of the scams that he's been through. So he has his own production company. So again, if y'all want to know more about Mr. Ty Hunt, go over to the Real Raw Rugged on YouTube right now and join the conversation.
Yeah, ask me questions. I love this stuff.
Ask questions.
I'm unprepared.
I am, because I look at you as here, and I'm surprised that you got. But I guess everybody's human, so you can get got at any time.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me.
Well, I think, also it kind of goes back to what I was saying as far as making it a business. When I first got started, I was just, like I said, all I wanted to do was film stuff. I didn't care about the business side. I didn't care about the money side. I didn't care about anything except for the creativity and the art side. Right. And I think that's always going to stick with me. That's, Natalie's like, let me handle the business because you're too creative. But, I think over the course of time, going through all of those challenges and learning why it's important to treat everything as a business transaction in this field. I think that I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was just still in my everything is creative, all I care about the art, on that side of the world. So it's important, like I said, to master the business side first, because if you can master that, you can do anything in anywhere, really, because everything is about sales. Even going for a job, you're selling yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So learning how to sell yourself and sell your brand and tell your story, that's the most important thing. And it took me years to really learn what that meant.
I think also along with that, definitely you have to treat it as a business, but I guess not, and also making sure you don't leave anybody behind. Meaning, because you were talking about that one director that was just a butt, and now I guess I try and stay focused with that too, because I've been across buttholes, so many of them, unfortunately, and I always take that I would never be that person, and and being that I'm not that person, I can call on people like, hey, this is what I need. Okay, I got you. And that's what I guess I really I try and make sure that the relationship is intact. Absolutely. Without selling my soul. Now, right. There is a line. There is a line, because some people doesn't put a value on relationship as much as I do.
Right. And those are the kind of people that you want to avoid. You want to be in a group that is at the same level or above you are. Because at the end of the day, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're the wrong room. So somebody's always said something. And so the same thing goes for your circle of people that you work with. If people aren't doing the same thing or treating the business as you are, you're in the wrong room. Because at the end of the day, just like I said earlier, the whole industry is built off of a network of relationships. And if somebody doesn't value a relationship, they're not worth your time. They're not worth your money because they're gonna break something for you, and then that's gonna come back and look on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last thing.
Right.
Negativity trying to go up.
I got my DJ voice for that one.
Anything else on the entertainment industry? DJ Talented.
Yeah, you were gonna ask me something earlier. She messed it up.
You know how women do, man. They
Hey,
Give yourself wah wah
I
wah.
actively avoid that conversation. You know how women are.
But no, you wanted to know the things he's done and blah blah blah. Remember that part.
Yeah, basically, Ty has been out here for some years. He's been doing what he needs to do to get to the place where he's at, to the place where he's going. I'm trying to get to those places,
What advice?
advice, like some steps that you took to get to it.
That's a loaded question. So let me see if I can focus. Just focus it a little bit more. What is the challenge that you feel like you're facing right now that you need help with?
Filming wise, I need to get my name out there.
Okay.
Music wise, we need to get more talent in. But I've been telling people, hey, Jared Entertainment company, we have an engineer, which is I myself, that has been doing music for about 20 years. Okay. Producing, engineering, recording, mixing, mastering, things of that nature. We have a location. We have a full-blown location now. In dealing with entertainment type of stuff, it takes steps. It takes a lot of steps sometimes, especially when you're coming from one city to another city where people don't know nothing about you. It takes a lot of steps. Right now, we do have some people that we're working with on the music side, and that is deeply where I started from, is music. Again, I had a childhood friend that we started a nonprofit that was teaching children how to produce, how to record, how to mix, how to master. Also teaching how to record as in filming and doing photography and things like that. But sometimes you don't have enough people that will support that type of thing. Because what we was doing, it was like an after-school program that is geared towards the children, keeping them up with their homework and things like that. And then we'll do the other side of it. The parents from where I'm from do not support by giving $5 a week. Now, your children got some place to go that's positive. They had snacks. They was learning something. They can keep them off the street, but they will not support it. It's crazy.
It is. But you also have to look at it from their perspective. Think about from a logistical standpoint. Maybe they didn't have a way to get the child there. Maybe they had other children that they had to take care of, and so they were spread, really thin. And they couldn't afford the $5. From their perspective, like you just don't know what the issue is.
Well, true that. But then you see these same people in the store buying cigarettes, what, $5 now?
Yeah.
It's just priorities. It wasn't them.
But the thing is, that's a personal choice on them.
Yeah.
That's true. So they're just the wrong customer.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is you have to find your audience and your person that you speak to, that you can sell to. Right. Because at the end of the day, you should never have to force anybody to buy anything. You should be like, hey, I'm really expensive, but or give reasons why they shouldn't go with you, and they're like, nah, you're fine. I can do X, Y, and Z. That way, they're talking themselves into buying from you. Okay, you know what I mean? It's never like, hey, that's really what it boils down to. Because you never want to twist anybody's arm because they're gonna regret it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be like, oh, buyer's remorse or whatever the case may be. But if they talk themselves into it, can't outtalk himself. Come on.
Right.
So I do have one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be the one things you would tell yourself, your younger self, if you had to, of coming up or join this business? Would you still encourage? Would it still be an encouragement to say, yeah, continue, or say, hey, find a new career?
No, I would definitely say, go do it. But the thing I would tell my younger self is get your money right way sooner. Because one of the things, especially as a director, um, you need money to be able to do this. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to go film something. Yeah, you could. You have these great tools now, to like your iPhone, for example. That's a great tool to use, especially if you have nothing else. To do that. But in terms of like growing and getting to a certain level, and again, running a business,
Mm-hmm.
I would have definitely. I wish that's one of the regrets. I wish that I had got my money right sooner, because that was definitely something that held me back for a long time, and it was unnecessary. Because money is one of those things that just comes and goes, and so you don't know how to,
Quickly.
if you don't know how to control it, and you don't know how to make it grow, then you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can come back to it, but let's move on. Ready?
Let's move on.
Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this, about India, the Bengal tiger that escaped and was roaming around Houston. But the tiger has been caught, and Victor Hugo Culez has been arrested. He was being arrested when the tiger actually escaped. Now, why a person have or own a tiger, I don't know, but this guy had a big ass tiger. Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
In Houston, roaming around. I mean, living with it. And I was like, what if that tiger would have actually ate somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of crazy.
Absolutely. And did you watch the Tiger King on Netflix?
No, but I heard he actually was putting out a award for the tiger to get caught.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just kind of crazy to me. I saw some of the previews, but I never did get into it. My daughter say it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely trash TV, but it was fun. I mean, well, it is what it is. But I bring that up because it was so crazy to see how these tiger rangers, for lack of a better word, how they treated these animals, these wild animals. And the thing for me is, like, I love tigers as one of my favorite animals, like of all time. I remember that as a kid, and I would never consider owning one because it doesn't.
It's an animal.
It's a wild animal. It belongs out there in the wild so it can do its thing. And you're stunting that animal from being its authentic self because it can't hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Living in your backyard, it can't be the wild creature, feral creature that it, or whatever kind of creature you want to call it. But so when I see stuff like this in the news, and I see dude owning an exotic animal like that, it makes me sad because while that animal may be treated well, I'm not saying that this guy is an evil person who's mistreating animals. It's just
an animal.
It's a wild animal. It's not supposed to be domesticated, and it just makes me sad.
So what do you think about zoos then? Same thing.
Yeah, I haven't been to a zoo in God knows how long. Like I was probably 4 years old or something like that, and so when I see animals in cages, it just makes me sad. Like I told my sister, she has a husky, and she puts him in his cage when he goes to bed. And I'm like, I can't do that because when she leaves the house, rather. And she was we were both leaving her house, and she's like, hey, can you put Ezio in the cage? That's his name, Ezio. And I was like, no, man, I can't do it. And she's like, why? It's good for him. And I was like, it's just something in my heart that's like, I feel bad for his animal. I feel this locking him in, and you can't escape. You can't do anything. And so, taking that further, looking at a zoo, I'm just like, I want these animals to be free.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to see or experience what life is like in the world, in the wild, like they're supposed to. Now, I do understand that some of these animals are there for like conservation reasons, and I can get behind that. It's all about learning or protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same breath, much rather just let them be wild and free.
And a lot of them die,
Yeah.
because they can't deal with the captivity.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like even like the aquariums. I get it. We can see some stuff that we had never seen before, but when you look at them, their lifespan is shortened because they're not being able to really be free.
Yeah.
I wish if they could, you know, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but get them for a certain amount of time and then take them back.
I think that's what's supposed to happen,
Okay.
from what I understand. But of course, again, some of these zoos are all about the money,
Hmm.
more so than the conservation side. And one of the things that brings Disney back into it, like their animal kingdom, is very much on the conservation side, where yes, they have animals in captivity, but they're there to protect them and to like nurture or to rebuild the community, especially on some of the animals that are kind of endangered as well. And
Hmm.
so they're doing that to protect the animals and to help them to grow their numbers and also to learn more about them so that they can help them.
But what do they do? They plan on putting them back in the wild because if after they've been in captivity, could they survive, get back out there?
That's a question for the experts. I have no idea.
I just wondering about that. It's like because like I said, I'm looking at it from both sides. Yeah, I get a chance to see some stuff that I probably would never see
Yeah.
because along with the height thing, I'm like deep water. So,
But see, that's the thing. One of the things that's great about filmmaking is that you can go out to them. You can go to the Serengeti and do a documentary on the other animals out there. Or I just watched this one where they were down in like Antarctica.
Serengeti, that's what a whole bunch of stuff and animals, and
Yeah,
they can really eat you.
yeah.
Mm-mm. I don't want to be
This is their
snacked.
home. You know?
You gotta go get back door.
You'll see them in their natural habitat.
Mhm.
I think it would be beautiful to see. Like I saw some amazing stuff. Like there was this one that was down in Antarctica, and they were following the penguins, and just some of the shots that they got, you can never get that anywhere else unless you get down there and get it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's going to be a beast of a journey and a beast of a shoot. But once you get the shots that you need, it's like, oh my gosh, this isn't making it worthwhile. And again, we do that type of stuff to learn and to protect, but also to have that experience. Where else would you get that experience?
True. I let somebody else do that. Yeah, I just see the product because we was just at Hilton Head for a couple of days just to recharge. That's our place we go to recharge because of course you ain't doing nothing.
Unless you like golf. That's about the only thing that you got to get outside the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing there. But just looking in the water, the beach, the ocean, and that thing is deep and just all kind of just life that's in there that just like crazy, it's like it's just like I would never,
Yeah.
But I wish we could, I would love to see the video for it, I would, but I ain't gonna go down there like something. But I just wonder sometime of the life forms that we don't know about. It's just kind of just amazing to me, just this world as itself, just that big old ocean of just life,
Absolutely.
just life. So I guess you're back. So we're gonna move.
Yeah, I'm back now.
So another crazy in the news: a woman mad that the family asked her not to attend the funeral of her recently deceased boyfriend decided to catch that family outside. So she showed up in her SUV and, according to witnesses, tried to run people over at the man's graveside ceremony. Yeah, she caught them outside for real.
But if she was the current girlfriend, why couldn't she?
They said that she had been making some statements on social media negative about the guy and whatever, so they didn't want that drama at the funeral. So they told her, please, if you don't mind, please do not come to the funeral. And she's like, oh, okay. You all wait right there. You wait right there.
There's some stupid people in this world.
This is why I avoid the news.
If you hate the person that's in the grave, why even go to the funeral? Right. You're talking all this shit about this person. Why even go to the funeral?
I don't know, but she wanted to make a scene, and she did. So now she in jail.
She made her own scene.
Now, it didn't say that she ran over. I guess he's probably already in the grave. I don't know. But they said she took her SUV and was trying to run over people at the funeral, at the graveside. So, kind of crazy.
Choke yourself.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move on to one of my favorite. What would you do? Now, y'all know how Black funerals can go left very quickly. And there's always someone at the funeral on the edge of showing out. So, you're at the funeral of your partner, right? Your partner passed away. You sitting there with his significant other. You see his girl that he was cheating with walk in the door with her secret child. And of course, the significant other doesn't know about her and the child. Only you know the full truth. Now you are very close to the significant other, and now you have this horrified, shocked, and oh shit look on your face when you saw girl coming in. And the significant other is looking at you like, wait a minute, what's going on? So the girl is starting to walk to the podium. Now you know it's getting ready to pop off. What would you do?
I grab my ass by the hair like, you got to get out of here. No, you're going to start this. No.
So would you stop the secret girlfriend and the child?
Yes. You got to stop this because, it's going to be hard on the child because if the child know that's his father, that's a hard one right there for the kid, but for that because she finna come on some bullshit. She finna come up there on some bullshit. But that this is kid. Now that significant other is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she looking at you side-eyed now because she know that you know something. Because you looking at the girl like, oh shit. Ty, what you think?
Let it play out.
Put your camera up.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, the truth needs to be told. It was never my place to tell the truth. It was on my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So what if the significant other, y'all close down? She looking at you like, really?
Yeah, but why you didn't tell me?
Why you didn't tell me?
Because I don't get other people's business. Plain and simple. If they, if you wanted to do the thing, that's on him. It's unfortunate and it's not right, but it's not on me to clean up his mess.
That's your sister. That's your sister. In theory.
I get it. But again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about being self-reliant. It's on him to be truthful. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go behind my friend and whatever. If I know something and they don't say nothing, what am I supposed to do?
Now here's a question though, because you her friend too. So what do? Who I guess your loyalty you saying goes to your original friend, your partner.
It's like this. If you got that bond with somebody, you do some dirt, you ain't supposed to tell it. You ain't supposed to be getting somebody else's relationship over there.
Right. And that's the thing, they're grown.
Right.
He's grown, she's grown, everybody knows everybody's grown. And I stay out of people's business. Plain and simple. If he's doing stupid nonsense, that's on him. You can't put his nonsense on me.
Right.
Oh, women gonna do that.
Right. And I shut it down. So now you're not gonna put that on me, but it's not gonna be a thing.
Cause she gonna be looking at you side-eye. You the godfather of these kids, so
I had nothing to do with it.
You know she gonna be looking at you
I
side-eye.
did not tell him to go jump in that lake over there. Exactly. Nothing to do with it.
She gonna be definitely looking at you side-eyed, and you godfather, so
Tell her you better put your eye back in your damn.
just saying, you know how women are. All right, I thought that was a good one, especially coming after the girl with the running over the folks at the graveyard. Yeah, that's stupid. But moving on.
All right, moving on.
All right. Did you know this segment we will celebrate and acknowledge an African American and their contributions making this country great? February is Black History Month, but we celebrate Black history on this show every week. Today in Black History, we celebrate Valerie L. Thomas, a Black woman who revolutionized technology. She was born in Maryland and she graduated from Morgan State University, HBCU. And after graduating, she accepted a position as a data analyst and mathematician at NASA. She is accredited with inventing the illusion transmitter, the first mechanism to create the appearance of a 3D image using concave mirrors and rays of light. She received a patent for this in 1980. So today, Valerie L. Thomas, we celebrate you and your contributions to making this country great. All right. So, yes. And moving on. All right. So, what to watch? Angelina Jolie's new movie release, Those Who Wish Me Dead. Now, I was looking at the movie side-eyed a little bit based on the title, but this is definitely a movie to not judge by the title. It's about a teenage murder witness that finds himself pursued by twin assassins in a Montana wilderness with a survival expert tasked with protecting him and a forest fire threatening to consume them all. There was a lot of action in this movie, and the breakout star in my book was, her name is Medium Singer, playing the character of Allison. Now, she was a sister, pregnant, wife, kicking ass to save her husband from the assassins. So now she was the badass in this movie, so you won't be disappointed. But yeah, she did her thing, pregnant and all.
So did Angelina Jolie direct this, or was she starring?
She was starring in this.
Okay.
Yep, she was starring in this. So, but it was a really good movie, a lot of action. But one of those, like I said, I didn't too much care for that title, but
Why not?
it just seemed cheesy a little bit. The title, Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Did it catch your attention though?
It caught my attention because it's Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
So that's what caught my attention. But that title didn't draw me in. It didn't draw me in. But when I started watching it, I was like, okay. So yeah, it went on that character's journey. So it was really, really good. So definitely don't judge the movie by the title.
I haven't seen it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Now, a movie that's coming out on May 30th at 8 Eastern on the History Channel, The Tulsa Burning, the 1921 Race Massacre, is executive produced by NBA superstar and philanthropist Russell Westbrook. This documentary commemorates the 100th anniversary of the horrific Tulsa Race Massacre of 1921, one of the worst acts of racial violence in American history, and it calls the attention to previously ignored but necessary repair of a town once devastated. Now, May 30th is on a Sunday, so y'all know what I say about this kind of movie. Normally, I don't watch on a Sunday because it doesn't give me enough time for my mind to get right going into work that next day. But being in this Memorial Day weekend, most people are off, so this might be okay to watch. But if you got to go to work that next day, because these type of movies really pisses you off, of how one race of people just massacred another one, all because of nothing. Because what it said was, the rumor was that some black guy harassed a white woman. It was something to do with a white woman. That's what sparked it all. But really, it was about money. It was about money. It really was. That was just an excuse. But it all was really about money. And these black folks over here, thriving and these folks over here are not. And it's like, y'all need to be coming to us. And because you're not, we're gonna just destroy everything. And it was talking about, just looking at some of the previews of where, they're talking about the destruction of it, the bombing of the town, and none of those people were brought to trial. None of them.
See, it's hard to get some bitches that's doing what they doing nowadays to stand trial.
Especially not back then. That wasn't gonna happen.
No, they was getting congratulated for dumb shit like that.
So I think it's gonna be good, but you definitely got to get your mind right. And don't forget tonight Uncensored with DMX final interview at 8 Eastern. So definitely we'll be talking and looking at that. All right, back in the day. All right. On May 16, 1990, Ice Cube made his debut by releasing his first solo album, America Most Wanted, after splitting up from NWA. The album was primarily produced by, this I didn't know, Public Enemy's production team, the Bond Squad. From that album, Who's the Mac, and the title track, America's Most Wanted, was the most memorable of that. I am an Ice Cube fan, but I believe, and he's one of the first rappers to turn into a movie writer actor with starting with Friday. But one of the best songs for me from Ice Cube was "Today Was a Good Day." So that is my hot 16. That was my hot 16. So I'm ready to do this last segment.
All right, let's go.
All right, moving on with. So we talked about scamming in the ATL, and like I mentioned on another show, Own Your Truth, and shout out to the Real Seer and Brian Key Productions. As long as there are human beings, regardless of the industry, there will always be scamming, manipulating, lying, using, taking fake ass people. So the key is not to let those people consume your progress. Now, this is not to say just lay down and become a mark, but unfortunately, because of the numbers, you will in your lifetime run across scamming, manipulating, lying, using, taking fake ass people. So, for my fellow citizens, as your president of the Real Ass People Society, we are in the midst of a crisis that's well understood. They are serious and they are many, but we choose realness over fakeness. We choose not to scam, use, take, or just do all that stuff that they do. So I encourage you to be vigilant, armor up, and protect yourself. Let it be said by our children's children that we were tested, we refused to let this journey end, and we did not turn our back, nor did we falter. We cared for the great gifts of realness and delivered it safely to the future generations. God bless you and those of the United States of America. That is me talking as your president for the Real Ass People Society. So any last words, Mr. Ty? And thank you so much for gracing our show, even though I apologize for not starting it on time.
No, it's fine. Any last words?
Any last words you want to just say? What's going on? And they definitely tell us what you got that you can talk about that's coming up.
There's not much that I can talk about.
You got a lot of shit coming up.
I got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of hush stuff, and I'm very excited for it. That's why you see me disappear. Like you may see, one post a month from me, but it's not because I'm just being lazy. I don't post something. I'm actually doing something, and so keep your eyes peeled for it.
All right.
Again, how can people get in contact with you?
So yeah, you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Both of them are @ThatDirectorTy. And then also you can check out the website of the company, which is www.lighthawk.studio.
Awesome. All right, DJ Talented, take us out, please.
Well, you can get in contact with me on Instagram
And I'm gonna find your ass with it.
You know, they find me. They type in DJ Townsend. I bet you can find me. Instagram. DJ Townsend.
You don't forgot. Damn.
Snapchat and all that good stuff. But this is again another show of the real,
The raw,
and
the motherfucking rugged.
You dig? And to my right, Miss Entertainment, you tell them how they can get in contact with you.
I'm at MIZZ ENTATL.
She talk about me.
Had a moment there.
Say anything.
I had a moment there.
Again, this is Terror Dome Entertainment headquarters. We have a podcast location.
Oh shit, I like that headquarters thing. Look at you.
Don't need a headquarters for now until we get something. But anyway, this is the headquarters. We have a podcast/radio station location. As you see right now, we have a full-blown music recording studio. We also have a photography area so that if you're a photographer and you don't have nowhere to take your clients, we have a spot for you. Look on PeerSpace, and we have all three of these spots on PeerSpace. So you can book us through PeerSpace as well. We also do film and short films and all that good stuff. So go ahead and give us a hit on the website, Terror Dome Entertainment. If you want to listen to the radio station, that's on live365.com, and it's under Terror Dome Entertainment Radio. And we're going to be going out of here real quick. And everybody saying, see y'all
Oh, okay. See you later.
later. Yeah.
All right.
We give you the real, like you popping a red pill. Ain't no time for